The cars weren't moving. They just sat there, hot and angry, honking at nothing. Evelyn Hart pressed her fingers against her forehead. Her head hurt. Her heart hurt worse. She had spent the whole day in a big fancy office with men in expensive suits. They smiled with their teeth, but not with their eyes. They talked about helping poor people, but they didn't really care. They just wanted their company names on buildings. They wanted pictures for magazines. "We can donate 50,000, one man had said, checking his gold watch, "but we need our logo bigger than everyone else's." Evelyn had smiled. She had nodded. She had signed papers. But inside, she felt sick. Is this what helping people has become? She wondered. Just logos and photos? She had worked in charity for 15 years. 15 long years of raising money, organizing events, making speeches. She had helped build schools and hospitals. She had fed thousands of families. But somehow it all felt empty now, like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. The traffic still wasn't moving. Evelyn looked out her window, bored and tired. People walked by on the sidewalk. A woman with shopping bags. A man on his phone. A teenager eating ice cream. Then she saw something that made her heart stop. A tiny boy, so small he could barely be 3 years old. He was standing on a concrete block, holding a crooked wooden box. The box was full of candy, melted, sticky candy that looked like it had been sitting in the sun for hours. But that wasn't what made Evelyn's breath catch in her throat. The boy had no shoes. His little feet were black with dirt. They were covered in scratches and red marks. One toe was bleeding. His clothes were too big and full of holes. His face was smudged with dust. His eyes looked so tired. Too tired for such a little person. "Candy," the boy said in a voice so small Evelyn almost couldn't hear it. "Please buy candy." A woman walked past him without looking. A man pushed him aside, annoyed. The little boy didn't cry. He just kept standing there, holding up his box with shaking arms. Evelyn's hands gripped the steering wheel. Her chest felt tight. How is no one seeing this? She thought. How is everyone just walking by? The traffic started moving. The car behind her honked. Evelyn didn't move. The car honked again, louder this time. "Go around!" Evelyn shouted, surprising herself. She threw open her car door and ran to the sidewalk. Her expensive heels clicked on the concrete. People stared at her, but she didn't care. The little boy looked up at her with big, scared eyes. "Hi," Evelyn said softly, kneeling down so she wouldn't seem so tall and scary. "What's your name, sweetheart?" The boy didn't answer at first. He took a step back, holding his candy box close to his chest like it was treasure. "Milo," he finally whispered. "Milo," Evelyn repeated. Try to smile even though she felt like crying. "That's a beautiful name. Can I buy some candy?" Milo's eyes got a little wider. "You want candy?" "Yes, please." Milo looked down at his box. The candy was melted and gross. Even he seemed to know no one really wanted it. It's not very good candy," he said quietly. Evelyn's heart broke into a million pieces. "I bet it's wonderful," she said. "How much?" Milo thought hard, counting on his dirty fingers. $2. Evelyn pulled out her wallet. She had hundreds of dollars inside. She took out a $20 bill. "Here," she said, holding it out. "Keep the change." Milo stared at the money like he'd never seen so much in his whole life. His little hand reached out, shaking, then pulled back. "Why?" he asked, his voice breaking. "Why are you helping me?" Evelyn didn't have an answer. She just knew she couldn't walk away. "Because you need help," she said simply. "Why are you selling candy, Milo? Where are your parents?" Milo's bottom lip started to shake. His eyes filled with tears. "My mama's sick," he whispered. She's been sleeping for so many days. She won't wake up right. My sister said, I have to be brave. I have to work. We need money for medicine." The words hit Evelyn like a punch to the stomach. This baby, this tiny barefoot baby, was trying to save his mother. "Milo," Evelyn said, her voice shaking now too. "Where's your mama?" Can you take me to her? Milo wiped his nose with the back of his hand. You really want to come? Yes, right now. You won't leave. I won't leave. Milo thought about it. Then, slowly, he reached out and grabbed Evelyn's finger with his whole little hand. His grip was tight, so tight it almost hurt. He was afraid she'd disappear if he let go. This way, he said. They walked down the street together. Evelyn left her car right there in the middle of traffic. She didn't care anymore. Nothing else mattered except this little boy and his sick mother. Milo's feet left small bloody prints on the sidewalk. How long has he been walking? Evelyn wondered, horror filling her chest. How far did he go? They turned down an alley behind a mechanic shop. The smell of oil and garbage filled the air. Broken bottles lay on the ground. Rusty car parts were piled against the walls. At the end of the alley was a shack. It wasn't really a house, just pieces of old wood and metal nailed together. The roof had holes in it. The door hung crooked on broken hinges. We live here, Milo said quietly, like he was ashamed. Evelyn wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to know how this was happening in her city. Her rich, beautiful city with its tall buildings and fancy restaurants. But she didn't do any of those things. She just squeezed Milo's hand and said, "Thank you for bringing me here." Milo pushed open the broken door, and what Evelyn saw inside would change her life forever. The inside of the shack was dark and hot. It smelled like sweat and sickness. Evelyn's eyes needed a moment to see in the darkness. When they did, she wished they hadn't. A woman lay on the floor on top of old blankets. Not a bed, just blankets on bare ground. Her hair was stuck to her face with sweat. Her lips were dry and cracked. Her breathing sounded wrong, too fast and too shallow, like she couldn't get enough air. Next to her sat a little girl, maybe 8 years old. She held a wet cloth and was trying to cool her mother's burning forehead. Tears ran down the girl's cheeks, but she wiped them away quickly when she saw Evelyn. "Who are you?" the girl asked, her voice sharp with fear. She moved in front of her mother like a shield. "What do you want?" "I'm here to help," Evelyn said quickly, holding up her hands. "Milo brought me. Your mother needs a doctor. Right now." The girl's face crumbled. "We can't. We don't have money for doctors." "I have money," Evelyn said, moving closer. She knelt beside the mother and touched her forehead. It was burning hot, so hot it scared her. "How long has she been like this?" "For days," the girl whispered. "Maybe 5. I lost count. 5 days. Evelyn's mind screamed. This woman should be in a hospital. The mother's eyes fluttered open. They were glassy and unfocused. She looked at Evelyn, but didn't seem to really see her. "Milo," the mother whispered. Where's my baby?" "I'm here, Mama." Milo ran to his mother's side and grabbed her hand. "I sold candy. I got money. You're going to be okay." The mother started to cry, weak, broken sobs. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. You shouldn't. You're too little. I'm supposed to take care of you." "Stop," Evelyn said firmly but gently. "Stop apologizing. You're sick. That's not your fault. But we need to get you to a hospital right now." The mother tried to shake her head. "No hospitals. They'll take my children. They'll say I'm a bad mother. They'll save your life," Evelyn interrupted. "And I won't let anyone take your children. I promise you. But if we don't go now, your children will lose their mother. Do you understand?" The words hung in the air like smoke. The mother looked at Milo, then at her daughter, then back at Evelyn. "Please," Milo begged, his voice breaking. "Please, Mama. Please let the nice lady help. Please don't die." That did it. The mother nodded weakly. "Okay," Evelyn said, standing up. "We need to move fast. Can you walk?" The mother tried to sit up. She got about halfway before she fell back down, gasping. "I've got you," Evelyn said. She wasn't a big woman, but she was strong. She pulled the mother's arm over her shoulder and wrapped her own arm around the woman's waist. "Come on, one step at a time." The girl grabbed her mother's other side. Together, they lifted her up The mother could barely stand. Her legs shook. Her whole body trembled. "Milo, stay close to me," Evelyn ordered. "Hold on to my jacket. Don't let go." Milo grabbed a fistful of Evelyn's expensive jacket with his sticky candy fingers. He held on like his life depended on it. They stumbled out of the shack, into the alley toward the street. People stared at them. A rich woman in a fancy suit, carrying a sick, poor woman while two dirty children followed behind. It looked crazy. It looked wrong. Evelyn didn't care what it looked like. They reached her car, still sitting in the middle of the road where she'd left it. A parking ticket flapped on the windshield. "Get in," Evelyn said, pulling open the back door. She helped the mother lie down across the seat. The girl climbed in and put her mother's head in her lap. Milo squeezed in beside them. Evelyn jumped into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine roared to life. She drove like she'd never driven before. Fast, too fast, through red lights, around corners, honking at cars that were too slow to move. "Hold on," she kept saying. "Hold on. We're almost there." In the back seat, Milo was crying. "Is Mama dying? Is she going to die?" "No," Evelyn said, even though she didn't know if that was true. "No, baby. She's going to be fine. I promise. Please don't let me be lying." She prayed to whoever might be listening. "Please don't take their mother. They're just babies." The hospital appeared ahead, tall and white and clean. Evelyn screeched to a stop right in front of the emergency doors. She threw open her door and screamed, "I need help. Somebody help me." Nurses and doctors came running. They pulled the mother out of the car and onto a stretcher. They started asking questions fast. Too fast. How long has she been sick? What are her symptoms? Is she allergic to any medications? Evelyn didn't know the answers. The girl tried to answer, but she was crying too hard. "Just help her," Evelyn shouted. "Please, just help her." They rushed the mother through the big automatic doors. The stretcher's wheels squeaked on the clean floor. Milo tried to run after her, but Evelyn caught him. "They need to work on her, sweetheart. We have to wait here." "No!" Milo screamed, fighting against her. "Mama! Mama!" The doors swung shut. Evelyn picked Milo up and held him tight. He beat his little fist against her shoulders, crying so hard he could barely breathe. The girl collapsed into a chair, her whole body shaking with sobs. Evelyn held them both. She didn't know what else to do. Minutes passed, then an hour, then 2 hours. Milo fell asleep in Evelyn's arms, exhausted from crying. The girl sat next to them, staring at the emergency room doors like as she looked away. Her mother might disappear forever. "What's your name?" Evelyn asked softly. "Lily," the girl whispered. "Lily, that's beautiful. Listen to me, Lily. Your mother is strong. And you are so brave. You kept her alive for 5 days. You took care of her. You took care of Milo. Do you understand how amazing that is?" "I didn't know what else to do," Lily said, her voice cracking. "I tried everything. I gave her water. I kept her cool. But she just got worse and worse. I thought she was going to die, and it would be my fault." "No," Evelyn said firmly. "You are 8 years old. You're not supposed to know how to cure infections. You're not supposed to carry that weight. You did everything you could. You're a hero." Lily looked up at Evelyn with red, swollen eyes. "Are you going to leave us? When Mama's better? Are you going to forget about us?" The question pierced Evelyn's heart. "No," she said. "I'm not going anywhere." Finally, a doctor came through the doors. He looked tired but not sad. "Family of Maria Santos?" he called. Evelyn stood up, still holding sleeping Milo. "Yes. How is she?" "She's stable," the doctor said, and Evelyn almost collapsed with relief. She has a severe infection and was badly dehydrated. Her fever was dangerously high, but we caught it in time. We've got her on antibiotics and fluids. She's going to be okay." Lily burst into tears, but this time they were tears of joy. Milo woke up confused. "Mama?" "She's okay," Evelyn whispered, crying too now. "Your mama's okay." Can we see her? Lily asked desperately. The doctor nodded. Follow me. They walked down the long white hallway. Everything smelled clean and safe. Nothing like the dark, hot shack. The doctor opened a door to a small room. There, lying in a real bed with clean white sheets, was Maria. She had tubes in her arms and a mask over her face, helping her breathe, but her eyes were open. Mama! Milo wriggled out of Evelyn's arms and ran to the bed. Maria lifted one weak hand and touched her son's face. My brave boy, she whispered. Lily stood frozen in the doorway, like she was afraid if she moved, the dream would end. Come here, Maria said. Lily ran to her mother and buried her face in her shoulder, sobbing. Maria looked up at Evelyn. Their eyes met. Why? Maria asked, her voice hoarse. Why did you help us? You don't even know us. Evelyn walked slowly to the bed. She looked at this mother, this strong, beautiful mother who had been dying alone in a shack, whose children had been forced to become adults too soon. Because I should have helped sooner, Evelyn said simply. Because I've spent 15 years moving money around and calling it charity. But you and your children, you needed someone to actually see you, and I'm seeing you now, and I'm not looking away again. Maria's eyes filled with tears. No one ever stopped before. People walked past us every day, like we were invisible. You're not invisible, Evelyn said, taking Maria's hand. Not anymore. Maria stayed in the hospital for 3 days. Evelyn stayed too. She didn't go home. She didn't go back to her office. She didn't answer her phone when her boss called, angry about missed meetings. None of that mattered anymore. She slept in the uncomfortable hospital chair. She held Milo when he had nightmares. She braided Lily's hair. She talked to doctors and signed papers and made sure Maria got everything she needed. On the second day, she went shopping. She came back with bags full of clothes, soft, clean clothes that actually fit. She brought Milo new shoes. Real shoes with thick soles that would protect his poor, damaged feet. When she tried to put the shoes on him, Milo started crying. What's wrong? Evelyn asked, worried. Do they hurt? No, Milo sobbed. They're too nice. I'll get them dirty. Evelyn's heart shattered all over again. Milo, she said gently, kneeling down to his level. These are your shoes. You can get them as dirty as you want. You can jump in puddles. You can run and play. That's what shoes are for. Okay. Milo nodded, still crying, and threw his arms around her neck. She also brought food, real food, sandwiches and fruit and cookies in juice boxes. Lily ate like she hadn't seen food in weeks, which she probably hadn't. Slow down, sweetie, Evelyn said softly. The food's not going anywhere. You can have as much as you want. Lily stopped chewing and looked up with guilty eyes. I'm sorry. I'm being greedy. No, Evelyn said firmly. You're being hungry. That's different. And you never have to apologize for that again. Ever. On the third day, Maria was strong enough to sit up in bed. The color had returned to her face. She could breathe without the mask. She could speak without her voice breaking. But she looked worried. I have to leave soon, she told Evelyn. The hospital is expensive. I can't pay for this. And when I leave, we'll have to go back to the shack. No, Evelyn said simply. Maria blinked. No, you're not going back to that shack. I've already taken care of it. What do you mean? Evelyn pulled out her phone and showed Maria pictures. Pictures of a small house, nothing fancy, but clean and safe. It had real walls and a real roof. It had 3 bedrooms with real beds. It had a kitchen with a working stove. It had a bathroom with running water. I've rented it for a year, Evelyn explained. Paid in full. It's yours. You and Lily and Milo. Maria stared at the photos, her mouth hanging open. I can't accept this. It's too much. I can't pay you back. I'm not asking you to pay me back. But why? Maria's voice broke. Why are you doing all this? We're nobody. We're poor. We're broken. Why do you care? Evelyn sat on the edge of the hospital bed. She thought about all those years in boardrooms. All those donations that went to people she never met. All those speeches about helping the poor, while the poor stayed invisible. Because I was doing charity wrong, Evelyn said quietly. I thought helping meant writing checks and attending fancy events. I thought helping meant big numbers and logos on buildings. But real helping? Real charity? It's this. It's seeing a barefoot little boy selling candy and not walking past. It's stopping. It's looking. It's caring enough to actually do something. Maria's eyes filled with tears. You saved my children. Your children saved me, Evelyn corrected. Milo reminded me what really matters. He reminded me why I started doing this work in the first place. Not for the meetings or the fame or the thank you plaques, but for moments like this, for real people who need real help. Maria reached out and took Evelyn's hand. I don't know how to thank you. You don't need to thank me. Just get better. Take care of your beautiful kids. Let me help you get back on your feet. That's all I want. Before we continue, if this story is touching your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with someone who needs to remember the power of kindness. It really helps us share more stories like this. Now, back to the story. When Maria was finally discharged from the hospital, Evelyn drove them to their new home. Milo pressed his face against the car window the whole way, his eyes huge. Is that it? Is that really ours? That's it, Evelyn said, smiling. The house was small and simple, but to Milo and Lily, it looked like a palace. They ran from room to room, shouting with joy. Lily discovered her own bedroom, with a real bed and a soft pillow and a window with curtains. She sat on the bed and bounced, giggling like the 8-year-old she was supposed to be. Milo found his room and immediately climbed onto the bed. Mama, come see. It's so soft. It's like sleeping on a cloud. Maria stood in the living room, crying, but this time they were happy tears. I never thought. She whispered, I never dreamed we'd have something like this. Evelyn had filled the kitchen with food. The refrigerator was packed. The cabinets were full. There were cereals and pasta and vegetables and fruit and bread and milk and everything a family could need. This should last you a few weeks, Evelyn said. And I've arranged for a nurse to visit you 3 times a week. She'll check your health and make sure you're recovering properly. I can't, Maria started. Yes, you can, Evelyn interrupted gently. Please, let me do this. That evening, Evelyn helped Milo wash his feet. They were still covered in scabs and bruises from his days walking barefoot on hot concrete. She cleaned them carefully, put medicine on the cuts, and wrapped them in soft bandages. Does it hurt? She asked. Milo shook his head bravely, even though she could see tears in his eyes. I'm tough. You are, Evelyn agreed. You're the toughest, bravest boy I've ever met. But you know what? You don't have to be tough all the time anymore. It's okay to say when things hurt. It's okay to let people help you. Okay. Milo thought about this. Then he nodded. Okay. No more hurt feet, Evelyn promised, pulling his new shoes back on. No more walking on hot streets. No more selling candy. From now on, you get to just be a kid. You get to play and laugh and be silly. Deal. Deal, Milo whispered. Over the next few weeks, Evelyn visited often. She helped Maria find a job at a local grocery store. Something easy while she regained her strength. She enrolled Lily in school and bought her a backpack and notebooks and colorful pens. Lily came home after her first day with stars in her eyes. I learned about the solar system, and we read a story about a dragon, and I made a friend named Sophie. Watching her excitement, Evelyn realized how much these children had lost. Not just a home or food or safety, but childhood itself, their innocence, their joy. She was determined to give it back to them. One evening, about a month after they'd met, Evelyn brought pizza for dinner. They all sat around a small kitchen table. Maria, Lily, Milo, and Evelyn. It felt like family. After dinner, Milo climbed into Evelyn's lap. He was quiet for a moment, playing with the buttons on her shirt. Miss Evelyn, he finally said. Yes, sweetie. Are you going to forget about us? Evelyn's breath caught. She looked at this little boy who had been through so much. This child who had walked barefoot through hell to save his mother, this baby who had learned too young that people leave. She tilted his chin up so she could look into his eyes. "Milo Santos," she said firmly, "I will never, and I mean never, forget about you. Not in this lifetime. Not in a million years. You are stuck with me forever. Understand?" Milo's bottom lip trembled. "Promise?" "I promise." Milo buried his face in her shoulder and started crying. But they were good tears. Relief tears. Safe tears. Maria watched from across the table, her own tears flowing freely. "You gave us our lives back," she whispered. "No," Evelyn said, stroking Milo's hair. "You gave me my life back. I was lost. I was doing all this charity work, but I've forgotten why. I've forgotten what it actually means to help someone." Milo reminded me. He reminded me that real kindness isn't about the big gestures. It's about stopping for one barefoot boy selling melted candy. It's about seeing people, really seeing them, and not looking away. She looked at Maria, then at Lily, then down at Milo in her arms. "You didn't need me to save you," Evelyn said softly. "You needed someone to see you, to acknowledge that you mattered, that your lives had value. And now I see you, and I'm never looking away again." That night, after Evelyn left, Lily asked her mother, "Is Miss Evelyn an angel?" Maria thought about it. Then she smiled. "No, baby, she's something better. She's a human who chose to care. And that's the most powerful thing in the world." Did this story touch your heart? Then please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this story with your friends and family. Let's spread the message that one act of kindness can change everything. Together, we can remind the world that everyone deserves to be seen. Now ask yourself, if you saw a child like Milo on the street tomorrow, would you stop? Would you look? Would you care? The choice is yours. Thank you for watching. See you in the next story.